Then rain
The
showers.
following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results, and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. It's Mother's Day weekend already. Andy Brownell along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
Looks like, pretty good weather for a Memorial or a Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, I
always remember this is the time that my mom would always go crazy. That was her Mother's Day, planting flowers.
Oh, yeah. I don't plant them, but I do get them, right? And so we pick them out. And I don't know if it's even going to be warm enough to plant them all yet.
I know.
Maybe. I mean, it's a little chilly. My tulips already have come and gone. They came and they were so beautiful, but it was so cold, they just kind of faded away.
Early tomorrow morning, we could have frost.
Oh, great.
I know.
Great. Oh, well.
I know if people have their swimming pools and they're getting anxious.
Yeah. Mine needs to be remodeled this year. Oh, what a disaster that's been. But anyway, as a realtor, I should know that pools are not maybe the most economical decision in Minnesota, especially in-ground pools. But it doesn't matter if it's something you really, really want, right? So we built our house 20 years ago, and I really, really wanted an in-ground pool. So we put one in. And it was very low cost for many, many years, because when it's new, everything's new, right? The heater's new, the liner's new, the covers
pumps,
new, everything's new. And then over the years came time to switch out the liner because the liner starts to get faded. It doesn't look so great. Then I wanted to change the step design. So I didn't want the little corner plastic stairs anymore. I wanted the stairs all the way across the back where you can just walk down and walk in. And then our cover wore out and it was time to get a new cover. So it's just one thing after another, but that's okay. I mean, that's the price of having a pool. But then everything went bad.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So our pool was designed back in the day when they had a steel bar across the back for the automatic cover. And they've decided now that's not a great idea with chlorine and water and steel, because over time it'll rust and then the bar will give way. So then the bar gave way. So it's like, okay, we need a new bar. I wish it was that simple. Oh, that bar
I can imagine
it's
not.
That bar is now connected into all four sides of the pool. So it's basically like, think about, you have a picture frame and one end of the picture frame fell off. So you think, I'll just nail that end back on and then I have the rectangle again. Nope. This is going to involve ripping up concrete, tearing out the whole frame, putting in a new frame. Well, of course, that means we're going to have to take out that pretty doggone new liner and we're going to have to put on all new. So this is the year that it's like, oh boy. And of course, my husband's response was, just fill it in. And I said, not happening. And I loved it because the guy we were meeting with to consult on this said, well, that's going to cost X number of dollars. And he went, what? He's like, okay, fix it. But anyway, so hopefully we were told the end of this month. So this cold weather has kind of made me like, well, it's not that bad for me because we don't have our pool yet, right? But hopefully by the end of this month, it'll get rebuilt and we'll be back in business and back to one of those crazy Minnesota homeowners with an in-ground pool.
Yeah, well, the friends I have, they have the above ground and they put it, they consider it it's like their summer vacation land that they just love spending time by the pool and in the pool during the summer. And to them,
so do I.
It's worth the investment.
Even if I don't get to spend a ton of time, the time I do get to spend, I love it because, I go nowhere in the summer. Like from March, April, May, June, July, hello, I'm here working. August, maybe I'll go to a meeting maybe, but sometimes no. It doesn't usually start until October that I can get away, but I'm not complaining. I never want to sound like I'm complaining. Business is great and I'm loving every minute of it. But yeah, I want my pool. There you go.
And I want it now.
I want it at the end of the month for sure.
Okay. Well, that's true. It's not quite warm enough to enjoy the pool yet.
No, it isn't.
Not without spending a ton on heating it. No. Okay. Well, before we turn down the microphones, you brought up a topic that I've read about a bit, but I'm sure you know a lot more about it than I do, and that is all of this cybercrime. Well, cybercrime has invaded every aspect of our society, but it's really impacting real estate more and more. It
is crazy. Like every time we meet with a client, one of the first forms that we fill out, whether they're a buyer or a seller, is wire fraud is real. And we sit and we talk about it. And well, I do. I can't speak for every single realtor, but for me, it is like a super sensitive subject. So I sit down and say, if anybody emails you anything, asking you for any kind of an account number, anything that has to do with money, please, please, please pick up the phone and call me immediately. Because, I mean, yes, you will have to transfer money for trust funds, and the closers will need your bank number because they're going to have to pay it off. But we just need to be super careful about who you're giving this information to, because in 2026, the state of wire fraud is considered an epidemic. And that is because in 2025, Americans lost $275 million through real estate related fraud.
Wow.
According to the FBI's latest figures. So it does matter who you're working with, okay? It matters which real estate agents you're working with. It matters which closing companies you're working with. It matters which banks you're working with, because those people are going to educate you and keep you protected from this, and make sure you understand it is a very big deal, not to be downplayed.
Is that how it works? They trick people into thinking that they're legitimately in need of this information because of whatever is happening with the transaction?
Yeah, listen to this. So behind these numbers, there's some real victims. So here's a story. Reagan and Bartlow, husband and wife, were preparing for a move to West Virginia after finding a home that would offer them financial independence. Just days before closing, Bartlow wired $255,000 down payment after receiving what appeared to be legitimate instructions from the title company, complete with accurate timing, branding, and transaction details.
Oh, man.
It wasn't until closing day that she learned those funds never arrived. She said, that is when my world fell apart. It felt just horrible to have all of my savings stolen just like that.
$250,000.
Isn't that terrible? I mean, they take AI and they cut and paste email signatures. And I mean, I just tell you, I don't care how good it looks. I don't care how real it looks. Every time I have a client, I say, do not do anything that involves money or bank accounts ever without please picking up the phone and calling me, and we go through it. And then I verify, and then you do it. It's a big deal.
It is. I mean, and it's a sad state of affairs that that's what you have to do. But back in the day, right, you wouldn't have done it through somebody sending you an email or a text with a link. And you would have gone somewhere and written a check out and handed it over to a person.
Exactly. Real estate has become a prime target because there's so many high dollar transactions, right? And so, and our data is so public. Like you see a house got sold, people can get out there and figure it out, right? And it's just really crazy because then they get into this and they know, okay, this one, it looks like it just sold. It's probably closing in about 30 days. So now we'll start sending the emails because we know it's right in the time. I mean, there's just too much public information for these criminals to be able to take and run with.
I don't think people realize that. All those records are available on these government websites. And you know where to look. It's pretty easy to find.
It's pretty easy to find. Yes.
Yeah, I know people who do it just for fun because they'll see a house for sale and they'll wait for it to be sold, and then out of their curiosity, after it closes, they'll go and look to see what it's sold.
What it's sold for, yeah.
Yeah, just curiosity. That's all. But obviously, there's bad players out there who will use that very same information to victimize people. Goodness
yeah, and
gracious.
when I started selling real estate 26 years ago, if you would have ever told me that I would have to sit down and explain to people that they might get an email, which we weren't even using. I mean,
right.
Seriously, barely using, that tells them we sure as the heck weren't doing online banking, right? Telling them to just wire $250,000. Oh my gosh. I mean, that just wasn't even a thing.
And now it's just you cut and paste a few numbers and you give somebody access to your bank account.
Yeah, scary. So be careful. Everybody who's listening, just be super careful. And believe me, it's not just in real estate transactions. Like I said, we're an easy target because it's kind of easy to put together a timeline, and it's large sums of money.
I had to do a transaction just the other day for yet another project on my home, where it was one of these money transfers for the the deposit, because I wanted to avoid the 3% service charge by putting that on a credit card.
Yeah.
And even though I know, I mean, I've worked with the person, I've met the person, it still gave me the creeps.
Yeah. No, it is. It is, honestly, it is a scary thing. And so, yeah, I have I don't know if I told this story online or not, but a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had a couple come in, and the buyer, the gentleman, was older than his wife, and he was in his mid 80s, and she was probably in her early 70s, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, he kept saying, well, this will be her house. This will be her house. And I thought, you're moving to Rochester and you keep referring to yourself as gone. So I said, are you moving here for health issues? He said, oh, no. And I said, well, why do you keep referring to this house as going to be her house? Where are you going? He goes, well, I'll die soon. And I'm like, well, you look pretty healthy to me. He goes, oh, I don't really want to be alive much longer. And I said, why? And he said, I don't fit in. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I don't belong in this world that I live in. I said, I'm not following. He goes, yes. He goes, I don't know how to use one of those fancy phones, and I don't know how to get on the computer and do that stuff. And I can't even go on the airplane because I don't know how to get a ticket. He said, I used to enjoy fixing cars, and I can't even do that anymore because I don't understand the engines with all the computers. He goes, there's nothing here for me anymore. I don't belong here. Oh, my gosh. Here. I know. I was so sad. I was like,
yeah.
You don't think about like how all these, I mean, I know like when my own parents would be like, wow, that's crazy. But I don't feel like they felt like they didn't belong in the world anymore. And this guy was 100% sincere. Like he felt like a fish out of water.
Oh, you think about it. If you can't do the apps on the phone and you try to call and actually deal with a real person, that's getting more and more difficult.
It is. Everybody says to me when they call me, oh my gosh, is this the real Robin? Oh my gosh, you answer your phone? And I'm like, why is this so shocking to people? But isn't that sad that people that people expect to get an answering machine instead of a person? Well, I'm going to tell you, the only time you're going to get that with me is if I'm on the phone talking to somebody else or in a meeting.
Get back to him right after. The real Robin. I
certainly will. It's the real Robin. It's the real Robin. Real as can get.
All right, Robin, we'll take a break. We have to. We'll be back in a moment with Robin Gwaltney, the real Robin Gwaltney, on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9. To Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Results. And Robin, do we have any updated information about the local real estate market?
Well, yes. Actually, I have a market report that is 5 days old.
Oh, so okay.
That's pretty good. Let's take a look at it. We have 319 sales pending in the market overall. leaving 392 listings still for sale. So that gets us to about a 45% ratio.
A balanced market.
Balanced market. So, I mean, that's 45% is getting pretty darn close to 50%. So it means that it's not necessarily leaning in favor of the buyers or necessarily leaning in favors of the sellers. It means that there are people out there shopping. We do have some inventory. Matches are being made, right? And if your house is in good condition and priced right, it's going to sell. I can tell you, even if it's not in great condition, but priced aggressively, it will sell. But it's all about the pricing. It's never been more about the pricing than it is right now, because I'm seeing something, and I don't know if it's just because, what are we paying for gas? $4.20. And I mean, people are just they're thrown right now. They're just thrown for a loop. They don't know what's coming. I've seen articles that say, do not buy a house. The bottom is falling out.
Oh, gosh.
We have this big economic crisis coming. No. None of my data in front of me says anything regarding to that whatsoever. But what it does say,
the overall economy has been remarkably resilient.
Exactly. And so what it does say is that these are not the days where you can put your house on the market for any pie in the sky price and hope to either get it or have somebody come and make you an offer and give you room to negotiate. Do not put yourself in that position. It is the time to put your house at the price where you'll turn heads like, whoa, that is a great price for that house. I just did that on a listing in Lake City, and literally on Thursday of this past week, we made it live. And by the end of the day, we had it sold with 5 options, 5 offers, and far over ask. And I don't think I underpriced this house. I priced it where I felt very confident that it would sell, right? Because I think that's super important. And I told the sellers, I feel very confident that it will sell here, and I feel very confident that you will get this price and maybe more. And that price was $289 for a list price, and they were, very, very pleased with what they actually ended up selling it for. So it was good. But if we had said, oh, let's just try 320,000 and see what happens, we would probably still be sitting with it. We probably would have had showings, but somebody would have said, whoa, that's high for that house. Now, back in the days that the interest rates were 3%, they're like, that's going to add $40 to my payment. Let's do it. Let's buy it before somebody else does, right? So it's just knowing the conditions of the current market and addressing accordingly. I've actually had 4 listings that we've done pretty significant price reductions on, and one really quickly. And we did that only because the neighbors have the same house, the same floor plan, came on the same day as us at the same price as us. And now they've done a price reduction. So they put my sellers in a position that, well, we either jump on that bandwagon or we sit, because they're not going to come and pay $469,900 at my listing if the neighbor just decided to drop their house by $15,000, right? So
you've always said it's the comps, right?
It's the comps. It's what you're up against. It's the current market. And, of course, I told the sellers, you don't have to lower your price. Oh, good, we don't. I said, well, no, you can either lower it or just decide to stay here, because even if that one sells tomorrow and comes off the market, it now becomes a comp. So now if somebody comes and gives you what you're asking for yours, good luck with the appraisal, because your neighbor just kind of, did you a solid? Not really, but
But you also have to look at it from the perspective that when we had the super cheap interest rates and the home values were going up crazy, we all benefited from those comps, and that built in that equity.
We sure did. And everybody's situation is going to be different. So it's not that the neighbors don't value the dollar and want to wait. I mean, this house has only been on the market 10 days. It's not time for a price reduction. And we've had showings. So it's just they're very motivated to get to their next place. They've already purchased a house, not in town. They want to go. So now they just drive what happens to their house and the neighbor. I mean, that's just the way it works, unfortunately.
Well, that's how it worked with my daughter when she bought her house. The people who had it were highly motivated because he had a new job and they had to move. They couldn't have two homes at once, and they came in with the offer at just the right time, and it worked out.
And ended up buying a house with equity in hand, which is fabulous. And that's what happens when people do this. Like if somebody, now those two houses that are sitting side by side out on Sunnydale Lane, there's two buyers that are going to get instant equity because those houses are both priced below their real market value. So, yeah, and there's going to be more. But I have, at the end of the show, I do want to talk about 4 particular properties that we're holding open today, and 3 of them we have done significant price improvements, and I think they are going to be, I consider them deals that are too good to pass up. So don't let me forget to talk about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, we probably should take a break. Why don't we do that, and then we can talk about that when we come back.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max results on Newstalk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.4. To Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Saturday morning on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. And that means we are chatting with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results. And of course, Robin, I'm always asking you at this time of the show whether you have any listings you can share with us.
Sure. I always have listings. Yay. And just to pick out a few to share. I want to point out that we have a great, the really common Rochester entry level 4-bed, 2-bath split, right? This one has got 2,000 square feet. So it's just a little over 2,034. So just a little over 1,000 square feet on each level. This one is at 4415 Valley Drive, Northwest. Super cute inside, outside too. It has some stone around the door, attractive. Big bonus on this one is that it actually has a 4-car garage. So it's a 2-stall, but tandem. So big garage, which I think will be the selling point because it's what will separate it from its competition. And that one is $349,900.
Oh.
So that one is fits a lot of people's needs for sure.
Yep. And great location for getting where you need to be.
Yes. And then I have a really fun and interesting listing out the address is Zumbro Falls, but it's just kind of out by Lake Zumbro. You twist and turn. It's 39568 569th Street. So if you're on the highway on 63 headed towards Lake City, you know where that little tiny church is and it says Troy? It's right on the highway.
South Troy, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, you turn there and you meander your way back in. It's not too far off the road once you get there. Anyway, this property, super unique. The house is built new in 2018, so it's not a very old house. It's got 1,728 square feet. It's slab on grade, 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And really nice. It's just one big open great room area, big vaulted ceiling, and then down the hall are the bedrooms and the bathrooms, okay? And it has heated floor and furnaces, so it's got both, but the heated floor, it has a big concrete slab out front of the house, and he ran the heat through that as well. So you've got
that's interesting.
So, well, he did it so that if anybody ever wants to expand the house and make it bigger, the whole slab the footings are there and the heat is there. So a very smart way to do it. Well, in addition to the house, there is a humongous shed, and the shed looks like you could live in it. Half of the shed is a garage, workshop area. The other half is like a little, You could probably, there's like a little kitchenette and a living room. And then
wow, he went all out.
They have a office in one of the rooms and a workout in the other room. And yeah, it's really cool. And the property has 15 acres and it has access to the lake. They have like a little association out there, and they've got like a party shelter and a dock, and just that group of people who live out there can go and use that little party shelter and dock their boats or launch their boats rather. So it's really interesting and unique, and that property is selling for $650,000.
That is cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's really cool. And there's another big area that he had already leveled for another big shed. So that's all ready to go too. So yeah, that's a fun one. And then in Northeast Rochester over by Quarry Hill, I have one at 1045 19th Avenue. And that is a split level house that's been gone through and repainted, recarpeted. Hardwood floors have been redone, has a nice 1/3 of an acre backyard with woods surrounding it. And there's like a little kind of a log cabin, I don't know, playhouse, she shed, whatever you want out in the backyard. 2-car garage, and that one's $369,900. And then I want to talk about 3 that I'm super revved about because we've done price improvements. And when I say that, again, it's not because these houses were overpriced. It's because these sellers have become motivated. So first, the one that I was talking about earlier on Sunnydale, that house has dropped in just 2 weeks on the market, has dropped from $469,900 to $457,900. So what that means is whoever buys it is going to get some instant equity. The high end on that real market value of that property is $491,000.
Oh goodness.
So that one, it'll be held open today by Matt from 12:30 until 2:00. So stop out there. Even if you're working with an agent and your agent isn't available to show you today, he'll ask you when you get there if you have an agent, and he'll keep your agent apprised in case we do receive any offers. But that one is one of those values too good to be true. Another one of those that we're holding open today is 6317 Oak Meadow Lane Northwest. You've heard me talk about this house on the show. This one has just stumped me. It is such a beautiful, beautiful area. The house is just immaculate, and it's got this great big, like, to die for workshop in addition to the house. And this house, these people are just like, all right, we know our house is worth every penny of this, but right now, moving to the next plan is more important. It's got grandbabies calling, right? So they're motivated, and they have priced their house to show it. So this one has dropped from $769,000 to $739,000. That is quite a price reduction.
Yes.
Or as I had mentioned, price improvement. And the high end of the real market value, now these real market values, these are not tax assessed values. These are values that are calculated by data. The high end of that real market value is $812,000.
Holy smokes. Okay.
So, I mean, there is some serious equity to be made, all while enjoying this gorgeous property. People say, oh, the yard's not flat enough. Well, if you want to climb up to the back behind, there's a big, beautiful flat spot where they have a fire pit and woods. Check this place out. It's going to be held open by Tom and Nate this morning from 10:30 till 12. And we'll have one of those guys in the house and one of those guys in the workshop. They're both very familiar with the property and can answer your questions. You will find Gail and I this morning from 11 until 12:30 up on Panorama Circle. We've got 2 beauties up there. Gail's is bigger. Hers has a basement, and so hers is definitely more expensive, but hers can also be sold turnkey with all the furnishings. So my gosh, that is amazing. But mine has main level and upstairs, and we just reduced the price from $549,900 to $524,900, so $25,000. And this lady just bought this place 2 years ago, And people might look it up and go, oh, yeah, she only paid $478 2 years ago. She has invested another $68,000 in renovating it. This place looks like brand new. It's beautiful. So she's got $544,000 into it, and she's willing to sell it to you today with instant equity. Again, the high range on the real market value of this thing is $576,000. So you're moving in there with anywhere between $25,000 and $50,000 worth of equity. These deals do not come along every day.
No, they do not.
And for people who are listening and saying, "Oh my gosh, the market is dropping, prices are dropping." No, prices are actually going up. Just sometimes sellers' motivation changes, and you get a good deal. It happens. And I happen to have 3 of them right now ready, all being held open today. So I hope you're one of the lucky winners.
Awesome. All right, Robin, if somebody wants to talk to you about those properties, about selling their homes, buying any other properties, things dealing with real estate in general, how do they get a hold of you?
Yes, any way I can help, please do not hesitate to call my cell phone, 507-259-4926.
All right, Robin. Good luck and have fun at the open house today.
Thanks, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'm not working tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm getting spoiled. All right. Bye.
Sounds good, Robin. Thanks. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM at 96.